Okay, so we got the Dead Daisies here, Marco Mendoza and John Corabi, and at the Sunset Marquis Hotel. And
And you are?
I'm Alex.
Yes,
Hi.
you are, Alex. How
Nice to
are you,
see you
brother?
guys.
Good to see you
Been
too.
waiting for you guys to come to the U.S. for a while.
Yes,
Well, at
we're
least
trying.
L.A. This is the first L.A. show you guys are doing, right?
Did you guys do one before?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. Wow, it seems like it's going so fast.
Like in the 4 years so far.
Since I've been in the band, no.
No.
So you guys are probably happy it's at the Whisky of all places, right?
Yeah, of course. You know,
It's
it's
history of
yeah,
rock
with
and
the
everything.
history, a legendary place, and a lot of our friends still play there. It's we got to say, I mean, management just made that decision, and I think it's a good choice. It was cool,
Yeah.
and we're going to shoot a little bit of video, and a lot of our friends are showing up. So celebrate rock and roll in LA.
Yeah.
Why not? So
And how's it been since you've?
It's
Oh,
at the Whiskey?
It is at the Whisky,
Well, it's a good thing you told me. I was going to be at the Troubadour.
which is
Not good.
actually it's about what, a half a mile or less from here. It's pretty close.
Yeah, I could have made it in emergency.
So yeah, I have this great album here called "Make Some Noise." It's got 12 great songs. I've been listening to this. It's a real rock album, which today you don't really get too many of those.
that's what we keep hearing.
yeah.
I don't know why. Why did they say that, John? I don't get it. I mean, we see enough. We've been touring enough, solid,
Yeah.
and we see a lot of great rock and roll out there. What's going on? What's your opinion, John?
I don't know.
What are they talking about? Labels, new bands, what?
Well, you guys started about 2012, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
for a group that's come in the last, I guess.
Three and a half years.
Yeah,
something like
this
that.
is you don't see like real rock, and this is they give that term supergroup, which I want to know how you guys feel
Oh.
with that term.
We're more into soup, actually, just soup group. I'm a creamy tomato fan myself. And then
The big question is chili. Is chili a soup or? What's your opinion, Alex?
he says that chili is soup, and I disagree.
Right. And Doug actually joined the group this year, right?
He did.
And what did he add on to the group? With his playing.
Well, it's Doug Aldrich. I mean, what can I say? He's a legendary cat. He's very talented. We're all friends.
Yeah.
I think at one point or another, we've always wanted to work with each other, and I got a chance to work with Doug with Whitesnake and other projects here and there. They go way back, John. and
Yeah.
Doug go
How long you
way
known
back.
Doug?
I've known Doug since he was 17, before he ever moved to even California, back in Philadelphia. So it's funny. I met him right before he moved, a little bit before he moved to California, and then we've kind of both kept an eye on each other's careers. But this is the first time that we actually work together.
Right.
And the fact that he calls chili a soup, I'll never do it again.
And I know Doug and Tishy, of course, were in Whitesnake together years
then,
back.
Yeah, and then Brian, man, me as a bass player, I've been
Yeah.
very lucky to play with some of the baddest cats on drums, and definitely Brian is one of those cats. His name gets thrown around in any project that comes up, man. It's Brian. Brian, he gets the call. So I'm happy. We're very happy, man. We're all having a blast. The story with Doug coming in is, if you're not familiar, to
Yeah.
bring you up to date, Richard Fortas and Dizzy Reed were hanging
Yeah.
out. And we had a meeting last year. I think it was around October when we did the Kiss Cruise. And
This was before Guns N' Roses announced the whole reunion.
well,
everything,
they
right?
were already talking. That
Oh,
was the
okay.
deal, and they couldn't give that Daisies a full commitment for this year, for the studio, for the studio recording, for the touring that we've been doing, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when we started calling cats, and we were lucky to call Doug, and Doug was really receptive, and he called us right back. He seemed very interested, so we got lucky. We got and same thing with John. We got lucky. We got John and Brian, and this is the lineup that we were all hoping to have, because we're all willing to go the extra mile, to give it a commitment, to give it the push, the support it needs. To get something off the ground. So, and we're very proud of the album. What can I tell you, man? Me, honestly, man, I'm humbled by these cats. I'm like here, I'm happy with them. I look around, I'm going, wow, that's John, and that's Doug, and that's Brian, and that's David Lowy, and wow, it's amazing. And I know I've said this before, but it's true. If I could put a band together, these would be the cats, man.
This is a good group.
So it's really cool that it's working out that way, Yeah.
Now, I've heard the album, of course. the title track sounds like you guys are playing an arena. This might be an engineer question. If you could tell us how that you got that big sound for that song.
You know, I'll be completely honest with you. I know absolutely nothing about mixing boards, but I'll tell you, like, it all starts with the playing. And Brian walked in, set the kit up, tuned it up, and then Marty's got a certain way of miking everything, and the foundation was easily there. I mean, the drums just sounded amazing right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then we just obviously layered the guitars on top of that, and the bass is huge. Everything is huge. And when we got together with Marty, we just told him that we just wanted to do an old school 70s-ish, kick-ass classic rock record, and he was all about it. But as far as the actual how they got all that, the sounds or whatever, I couldn't even tell you. Marty's just like he's like the wizard, behind the curtain. But
Something about that song I got to throw in. I believe, John, and you can correct me, this was the last song that, the writing process began way before, and everybody brought ideas. But that song happened in the studio. Spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Marty, which is, got to give him a lot of credit because he was great, man, at focusing where we were going, taking direction, and he took it where we wanted to go, to be honest. And we needed a cat like him. But we came in, and I remember him saying, you guys need like an anthem, man, like an arena rock, frick. And then Doug, and we're all listening, boom, boom, and Doug started boom, boom, boom. It was within minutes, if I'm not wrong, that it happened. So it was meant to happen. And now it's the title track. It's like, it's serendipitous. I wanted to say that word. Wow.
I was gonna ask about that. I mean, I know you guys are influenced by all kinds of great artists. If groups like Van Halen and Kiss had any kind of influence on some of that sound on this album?
I think on the song "Freedom" that we have, there's a bit of Van Halen on it. But honestly, for me, anything in the '70s, Kiss, Van Halen, Grand Funk Railroad, Humble Pie, Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Queen, Deep Purple. It's just so there's no real format. Like when we sit down, when we said we wanted a '70s sounding record, we don't. It's weird. We just kind of write the way we write, and the songs just go where they're gonna go, and then we just sat in a room together, old school. Everybody kind of sat in the same room and laid the rhythm tracks down, played really off of Brian, and just kind of captured that energy, that vibe. You know what I mean? But I think if you listen to it, there's some people have said that there's a on some of the songs it sounds like old school Aerosmith. Some said AC/DC. It's whatever. Yeah. So we just write the way we write and just let the cards fall where they may. So I think I'm very pleased with the record.
So this album did come out in 2016, as we know. Right there.
You mean this one?
That's the one. Great album. But I mean, for someone who did not know the year this album was recorded, didn't know who the members were, just heard it, what year do you think they might guess this album came from?
Well, back to what we were saying. Yeah, it's something that, again, we were influenced and inspired by all those bands that John was talking about. And so when you're a musician and you're learning, you're honing in on what you're learning, the writing, the singing, the guitar playing, the bass playing, you're influenced by these people that you look up to. So it's no wonder, man, that when you're kind of not, you can't reinvent the wheel, but you can invent your own wheel, the way the wheel turns. So that's what it is. We're kind of like trying to fly that flag, the classic rock, if you have to put a label on it, rock and roll flag, for the new generations like you. You're a young cat that, otherwise you wouldn't have a chance to hear all these other bands. So, and we're bringing it to the stage, and we know how to have fun. This guy's great. John's amazing, man, fronting and singing, and Doug he's amazing on the guitar, and Brian. And so again, it's a great bunch of cats with a lot of experience, and we're doing it. That's all I can say. It's like, and we're enjoying the process.
How many countries has the band been to now?
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, it's probably a few.
Australia, U.S., all of Europe, Russia, Israel, Cuba, and we're on our way to Korea, Japan. Quite a few, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should ask what continents have you guys played, because that's like almost
Continents, yes, man.
that's most of them.
Well, no, continents, we would have to play in South America, Mexico, Africa.
Yeah.
China would be cool, but
It's been a lot of places so far.
a lot of places. And the reception has been over the top.
And now you're doing LA,
We're doing that late
which is the
tomorrow night.
hometown.
We're
for most of
excited.
you guys.
Yeah, John lived here forever, man.
And you're in Nashville these days.
20 years.
Yeah.
20, 21 years, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we have some roots planted here, and I lived here in Studio City forever. And I'm out of here. I'm in Orange County now, but LA's the place, man.
Yeah.
Even when I'm traveling, and you'll agree, it's like this is still the place. Lots happening here, man. It's still, this is where the producers are. This is where the artists are. This is where the rehearsal studios, the industry, what's left of it, it's here. So I tell people, and I meet a lot of kids along the way on the road, I said, man, if you're really serious about what you want to do, you want to do this for a living, go to LA. And don't go to check it out. Move.
Yeah.
Stay there. And roll the dice, man, and become part of the fabric of LA. That's what I did. So.
Yeah, this is a good one. You guys did do a few shows with Kiss, I believe,
We've actually done,
or more than a few. Like,
we've done
kind of a tour in a way.
In the last year and a
Yeah.
half, we've done 3 tours with Kiss. We did all of Europe,
Yeah.
all of Australia, and we just did a bunch. We didn't do the West Coast,
Right.
but we did from Green Bay east. So
The question here is, how did that tour, get put together?
Honestly, I was saying this the other day. We all have, we've been doing this for so long. We all have so many names and friends that we've met along the way, and Rolodex, and inevitably you meet people, and they're like, oh, hey man, what are you doing? I'm with this band at Daisies. Oh, here's the CD, check it out. Actually, Billy Duffy was here the other day from the Cult,
Yeah.
and I hadn't seen Billy in forever. So same thing. I just gave him a copy of the CD, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, we'd love to do some shows with you guys," and it just kind of rolls that way, So, Kiss has been they went out with Kiss with the old singer John Stevens.
Yeah.
Kiss and Def Leppard. Yeah, we did a run with them, and
Just got to bring it to the West Coast.
yeah, for some reason, every time they've been on the West Coast, we've been in Europe. That's how it's worked out. But I'll tell you, that's our manager. But I'll tell you, they're really excited. We were talking to some of the the management, and some of the Kiss family was here. And they're really excited. They really appreciate what we're doing. They support us in a big way. Gene and Paul and Eric and Tommy and the crew and management, Doc. They're very supportive of what we're doing. So they're kind of going, come on, man, we dig you, we get along, it's a family. So there's talk about possibly doing some more next year. So we'll see what goes on.
And it was funny. We just finished with them on September 10th,
Oh, well, that
and
fairly recently.
two of their guys were here. Their tour manager or 2 of their tour managers, and they both came over. David and I were sitting here yesterday, and he came over and he said, "Listen, man, for whatever it's worth, you guys are the real deal. We had a great time with you guys on the road." And then I guess apparently Gene and Paul sent David an email, and they said, "Loved having you out. You guys are kicking ass. Good luck with everything. Hope we can do some more in the future." So I remember seeing Kiss when I was younger, and oddly enough, almost every time I saw Kiss, Bob Seger was their opening act before he broke, and
Ever seen that guy before?
and so I was saying the other day, I go, we want to be their current Bob Seger. You know what I mean? We go out with them or whatever. It doesn't suck. We have a great time. They're extremely accommodating, and they bring it, man. It's a great bill. It's a great show. The Kiss fans are awesome.
I have to say this,
Yeah.
because and again, no, they got an army, but it's mind blowing what they put on, what they're doing after 40-something years. I went out. My daughter came up to Boston, and she's 13, And I said, well, let's watch the show top to bottom, you know. And it's amazing. Not that I've never been a fan. I mean, I became a fan over and over again because they reinvent themselves, man. It's hard. I mean, it's very easy to understand why they have 2, 3, 4 generations of fans. It's amazing.
They apply to everybody.
We were saying yesterday, we've done 3 tours with them in a year and a half. We did Europe, Australia, and now America. And all 3 tours that they did, they had a completely different stage setup, completely different light show, set list, like pyro, like everything was completely different than the last tour that we did.
Yeah.
So it's just impressive that, you know, something, you know, obviously if you've seen Kiss, it's a huge show. And to be able to change it, to have a changeover like that and change up the set list. I mean, most bands, if you really think about it, would design a show and they would use it for a year or 2 or 3, you know what I mean? And then they would change it up. But every tour they do, it's a different stage setup, different everything. And it's pretty impressive, man. Like I said, like Marco said, he's already a fan of the band, and it's like you go see them every tour, you become a fan again. You know what I mean, or even more of a fan. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw them. They had that spider thing that comes
Right,
down,
that's
and
it, yeah.
that's the show I saw.
That's doing something different. But my daughter, is 13, new Kiss, and she knows the characters, she knows some of the music and all that. She knows I've toured with them. She came out, now she's a fan. That's cool. She's got, for Halloween, she's going to be Paul Stanley. I mean, come on, man. She's 13. So it's very powerful what they do. The influence they have on the kids and the fans is just amazing. And me. Yeah. I'm like, wow. And I see the cats backstage, and I can't say, bro, that was great. I can't stop saying it. That was amazing. The music, you're playing great.
And Spitting Blood, the pyro.
All of it.
All those
Yeah.
things. So you'll be at the Whisky tomorrow night, and what's coming up next?
We're going to tour on this one quite a bit, actually, and but we got Japan coming up. We're doing USO shows for the troops in South Korea. And then right from there, we go to the Kiss Cruise. And then right from there, we go back over to Europe for 2 months with a band called The Answer. So we're booked up until like December 21st or 22nd. Yeah.
Make some noise on this.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you tomorrow at the Whiskey.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for your time, man.
Special show. I know being the first one here.
All right, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Trying to keep doing promos. No, that album's been great. Like, you don't really get too many real rock albums now from newer groups, and that has it all.